Hey folks, Quill18 here, bringing you some more Let's Play Civ 5, and I must extend my most sincere apology. I played a bunch of the game, well, not a bunch, but I've been playing some of the game, and I discovered that my microphone was muted through all of it, because depending on what game I record, sometimes I'm recording with the mic muted so I can do post-game commentary, and I had left it muted while I was doing this, so I did some playing with the mic turned off, and so we have lost that commentary. So I feel really terrible, guys. Oh man, and it's so frustrating from my point of view to have done all this work and then to lose it. It just it feels ridiculous. But we're gonna continue on anyway. Hopefully, you guys have missed a little bit, but hopefully not too much. And we are in an exciting bit right now, so we're gonna be jumping into the action pretty quickly. Oh, one thing though. You probably noticed the graphics look a lot better. We've got like actual clouds now. The detail on a lot of the tiles is a lot higher. The units. Well, I don't know if you guys are gonna get the details once it's all compressed for YouTube anyway. But there's two versions of the game or the game executable that you can run. One is optimized for DirectX 10/11, and one is optimized for DirectX 9. And my video card can do DirectX 10 and 11, so I was using that version. But that was the one that was really slow, so I switched over to the DirectX 9 version just to test, and I was able to max out. All my graphics settings are 100% maxed out, and I get really good frame rates. So that at least is a good thing. Okay, what has happened to the game? First of all, a few things. One, I know I've been talking since the beginning about doing the cultural victory thing, and some people in the comments, some people were like, yay, culture, and other people were like, no, we want war and action. And I took a look around at my civilization, and I realized I haven't been playing the game very focused for a cultural win. A lot of my cities aren't, in fact, still, if I look at Dur here, Dur Kurigalzu, it's still not producing any culture, so I haven't been very focused. And one of the things in this version of Civ, the buildings take so long to build, you can't have all the improvements in every single city. You really have to pick and choose quite a bit, and I was not picking and choosing in such a way to maximize my cultural return. So we're going to have to revisit that at a later date. Luckily, there are some specific achievements that I want to do, like one for India, if you get a cultural win with just 3 cities. So I think I'm going to work on that, and that will be where the cultural victory comes in. Let's see, I'm trying to remember all the things that I had wanted to talk about, and in fact did talk about when I didn't have the mic on. So I'm worried that I'm going to leave things out, or I might repeat the same thing like 3 times in this video because I can't remember if I said it in this one or the last one. So what happened? When did we leave off? Well, one thing a lot of people were mentioning in the comments was, holy crap, Persia had a ton of units sitting outside my city of Cod right here. And like, wow, what's going on? That was part of the incentive for abandoning the cultural play and saying, no, let's go militaristic. We need to take care of that. Now, it turns out they weren't coming for me. They were actually coming for Kuala Lumpur. The next turn, literally, when I loaded my save, the very next turn, when I hit play, they declared war on Kuala Lumpur. And then Kuala Lumpur asked me to help out in the war. And they would become my best friends forever, basically. So I was like, yeah, okay, sure, that sounds fine. I actually waited a couple of turns. I let them defend themselves for a little while. They took a little bit of damage, but it bought me enough time to move all my units, which I think were heading to Almaty or to Florence, I don't remember. So I moved them all over here. We started a war with Persia. We made Kuala Lumpur very happy. They're like super maxed out allies now. They love me incredibly lots. And then once I cleaned up all these troops, I killed them all. I went over and I took over Persepolis. So Persia still exists. They still have one city over here, Pasargada, and apparently they're getting quite pissy with the Iroquois. So they'll probably go to war at some point. I don't know. But yeah, we've got Persepolis. It's a nice city. Capital cities usually are pretty nice on good terrain. He's got access to gold, ivory, cattle. Very good. We have Nippur's been going on quite well. We've hooked up the pearls and all that, which is very important because happiness, as we expand our empires, we take over the cities, our happiness takes a major hit because the more cities you have and the higher your population, the worse your happiness gets. So it's very good to have that offset. I've also got a few of my cities. In fact, Akkad will finish a Colosseum next turn. Basically, just, trying to keep my happiness up because if I'm going to be playing militaristically, I'm going to be taking over cities. So that becomes very important. So, love Kuala Lumpur. Great relationship with them. And so I was coming through here after taking out Persepolis, and I was going to start moving towards Pasargada. And then the French built a bunch of units to come and take out Kuala Lumpur and declared war as well. So I've actually declared peace with Persia. They're not a threat anymore. They're not really bothering me. and I've decided to defend Kuala Lumpur against France. And there was a hell of a lot of fighting here. They've got really, really good units. Persia had crap, but France has access to iron. So they were building swordsmen. They had a lot of archers, generally being very difficult. I got a catapult as a gift to me from Almaty, and the catapult, I wasn't convinced that siege weapons were very good at first because they need a whole turn to set up. You have to move them into the square, and then you have to waste a whole turn to get them set up, and they can only fire on the next turn. But it's really strong. It's got a strength 14. Compare that to my bowmen, who are strength 8. These guys are doing tons of damage. They're actually one-shotting perfectly healthy stacks of spearmen, which is good because I've actually started to build horsemen. Horsemen have a strength of 12. Very, very powerful units, but they get hosed by spearmen. So I'm able to use my catapult, and of course my bowmen as well, to clear out any spearmen that come this way, and then my horsemen are going to be doing good damage. I've also got my first swordman on the field. He's just been running over here from, I think I bought it in Akkad. I'm mostly using my gold to, I used it to rush a couple of military units. It seems like a good way to doing it. I mean, it takes money, obviously, but it takes so long to build things that it's worthwhile. One thing to note, these military units, if I want to buy one, why isn't it an option? There we go, purchase. If I want to buy one, like if I want to build another swordman, it's 410 gold, okay? But if I just look at Almaty, who's a military civilization, and I just want to keep them allies because they are giving me a unit every 17 turns, I can spend gold to buy influence. Now, the amount of influence you get for your gold depends on, I don't know what kind of factors. I'm not entirely sure. But because earlier I got 35 influence instead of just 30. But whatever it is, this is basically 30 to 35, I don't know, more turns of being allied with them. So when it was 35 influence, I was paying, okay, 250 gold for 35 turns. Well, I get a unit from these guys so it was 250 gold for 2 units. Really, really, really cost effective. You don't get them instantly, but you do get them, and so you use these guys to build your units instead of spending time doing that in your own cities whenever possible. So yeah, city-states are awesome. I definitely want to get more of them. Just wonderful. Akkad is cultural. They are giving me culture, which is nice, even though I'm not going for it because it does unlock more social policies. Yeah, so I think we're caught up. So yeah, I feel terrible that I missed that, but what are you going to do? Oh, I did, in Akkad, I finished that mint, and look at this. When they're working gold tile, 7 freaking gold out of this. So amazing. So I have claimed both these gold tiles as well for Akkad. And they're not being worked right now. One of the things is, like, Akkad has a population of 6 citizens, so they are working 6 tiles. As it grows, it will work more tile. I can force them to work these guys. I can do that. Lock that in, and then it forces them to work it, and they would get extra gold. But I'm just leaving it on the default focus, letting the computer pick the best tiles to work, and generally what that means is they will continue to get enough food to grow, and that's important. So the city will grow, and at some point I will be working the gold while still working my farms. Whereas if I work the gold now, it'd be very good money, but if the city doesn't grow, I'm sort of denying myself some other things. So, yeah, alright, anyway, I guess we just hit next turn at this point, so I've got lots of units. These are all my units, and I am going for France. I'm going to beat the crap out of them. They're going to learn the hard way. They are to leave my friends alone. I'd even click the option here, pledge to protect. Oh, or didn't I? I'm going to click it again. There we go. Yeah, so, you know, don't fuck with my guys. These are my friends. You don't get to take them. They're giving me culture. They're giving me iron, actually. I don't have iron inside of my empire anywhere. Oh!
La France t'offre cette proposition exceptionnelle.
You know, I do like the fact that these guys know when they're going to get their ass kicked, and they can surrender. In Civ 4, it was so hard to get a surrender out of these guys. He's actually offering me a city in exchange for peace. And I think I'm going to take it, because I'm going to get this city far faster than I can take over one of theirs. And frankly, I don't have enough happiness to take over his entire empire right now. I have enough happiness to take on one extra city, I believe, but I'm going to have to wait to get more Colosseums up or something before I can grow much, much bigger. So I can take this for now. It's just peace for 10 turns. 10 turns later, we can continue the war. I think I like that. Now, let's look at the unhappiness. Whoa, we are at -8. Why are we at -8? Okay, so the way unhappiness works is the more cities you have, the more unhappiness. The more population you have, the more unhappiness. Further, you get a ton of extra unhappiness for occupied cities. Which if I don't know if you can read it on YouTube, but there's two lines in there. They've got these little chain icons. So I get unhappiness from occupied cities and from occupied population. So that is sucky. So right now that city is part of my empire. It's basically been annexed. This is what it's showing me. But instead of annexing it, I can create a puppet government instead. So in name they in the real world, in name they would keep their independence and everything sort of, but whatever, not really. And the way it works in this game is it's still a part of my empire, and it still gives me gold, science, and culture, but I do not get to choose what it produces. I don't get to choose what buildings it creates or units it creates or anything like that. But that's okay, because when I'm going to do this, look at this, I'm back in positive happiness, which is very important to keep in positive happiness as long as possible. So I've got Orleans here. And they're still in resistance. There's 5 turns resistance. After that, they will start building their own stuff. But if I click on it, I don't actually get to choose anything. I only get the option to annex it. So I can annex this at any time. Once I get my happiness under control, I might do that. I might not. There is a bug in the game where you can actually choose their production. If you go to the economic overview, and if I look at Orleans, I'll look at Orleans here. Or Persepolis. See, this is also a puppet government. They're currently producing something that lets me know they're building a monument. I didn't tell them to do that. I don't have the option of doing that. They're building a monument. But actually, if I click on this and then close this window, I can choose the production of Persepolis. This is a bug in the game. They are going to fix it. I am not going to use this. It's bypasses the way the game is supposed to be played, and I don't want that, because then there would be no penalty whatsoever to having a puppet government. So none of that. But city-state message. Who wants to tell me something? Kuala Lumpur no longer needs assistance against Napoleon. Oh, because I forced him to declare peace. Oh! Did I kill enough units, though, to get the bonus? Yeah, I'm sure I did. So yeah, we've declared peace, and part of the peace deal was to make peace with Kuala Lumpur, and they've done so now everyone is happy. Orleans is a really good city! Oh my god, like, I was threatening Lyon. I mean, I guess that's it. If he hadn't declared peace, eventually I would have just overwhelmed his entire civilization. But he's given up one of his best cities. Wow, deer. More iron, which is great. He still has iron, though. Fish, pearls, deer. No extra happiness resources. But still, how stupendous is this? We're going to have to get some workers over there. They've got some unimproved tiles. And probably I will change. He's got pretty good production here. I suppose I could just use this city. Oh, I was going to say use it as a production center, but I don't get to choose its production. So we'll see what we do. Actually, there's no point in having a puppet with good production, I don't think, because they'll produce totally random buildings and potentially just add to my upkeep by building stupid shit I don't care about. And it may be best to just make it more commerce and growth. That way it'll produce lots of science, lots of money for me. Too many stupid things. But I may grab control of Orleans at one point. Just because it's a lot closer to the front. Well, it's pretty close to Nippur. I guess it doesn't really matter that much. But I was going to say it'd be nice to build units here, at least rush by units here, even if I don't actually produce them the hard way. So we finished Colosseum here. Good. Wow, so we're at only +1 happiness with that new Colosseum? Alright, we need more happiness before we do anything else. We're going to need some circus. It's expensive, but what else are we going to do? Jeez. Orleans. That's weird. It's actually prompting me for production. I really shouldn't be doing that. I guess it's because I loaded up the screen once. And I can't get it not to do that, so I'm going to have to pick something. Alright, fine. Build a Colosseum then. That's weird. So don't go through that screen, because it glitches the game. Oh, we've stolen a worker here. Good. Good. You come down here. So. Now the question is, who do we go to war with? What do we do? Well, we still need happiness. I guess I can't go to war with anyone right now. It's more about building up my empire a little bit more, getting some happiness buildings, keep improving my tiles, and I suppose if I want something to do is I can be spending some money to develop some friendships with these city-states. In fact, Copenhagen would be nice. I really want some maritime city-states so I can get some food. So I'm going to spend some gold and become friends with them. So they'll give me a little bit of food. and then once